Hi, guys. Welcome back to our Team Expert podcast series. My name is Tehvonni Simone Clark, and I'm currently sitting with Tyler Stevenson Colley. Yes, the TSC duo is back. So, Tyler, how are you feeling today?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm excellent. So, Tyler, can you give us just a short little breakdown of what you do here at Lifestyles Digital Media Group?
For sure. So I am the digital media specialist at Lifestyles Digital Media Group, and I'm also the production lead.
All right, love that. So today, Ty, we will be talking about visual and audio. So how you feel about that topic?
And that's my bread and butter.
No, right. Okay. So first question, I know it's a little bit throwing you off here, but video or audio, which one do you put above the other?
That's a peculiar question because they're both like you can't have a good video without good audio, and good audio is complemented by a great video. So I wouldn't necessarily put one above the other because they're equally important.
All right. So I asked you that question because really in this day and age, again, we all have cell phones and everybody's on social media, everybody's basically a production team in their own. So I think people a lot of the times put visual over audio or sometimes put either or. So
Mhm.
do you think it's really important that all two of those marry each other and like are they supposed to be together essentially?
Yes, because I believe, like I said, visuals should be complemented by good audio. And I mean, if you just think about some of the content that you would consume,
Yeah.
audio is what really sets it apart. Because you could have a blonde video with the most basic audio, but when you really take the time to sculpt the entire visual surrounding with that audio, it pretty much encapsulates that entire experience. Think about like a really, really nice video that you would have seen recently. Now think about it on mute. Would it have the same effect?
Hell no.
Exactly. So they're, like I said, they're both equally important because they complement each other so well.
All right. So really, in studio, we can control both of these items. However, when we get to outdoor shoots, I should say, or like just out of the studio, you really have a lot of uncontrolled variables that, you have to basically manage, even though
Right.
you can't do nothing about them. So how do you tackle these uncontrolled variables? Like, what is your approach to that?
There are, besides the obvious technological advances that have been made in the audio space, you have mics that actually have noise cancellation. So it can isolate the audio if there is any ambient sound happening around the scene. Now, if you don't have, that equipment, if you're just starting out, for example, use your space. You're not tied to any one place. And one thing I've learned from a very great cinematographer is you're not don't marry the location, marry the outcome.
Yeah.
Be more obsessed about how it's going to turn out, more so than I really got to get this specific shot. I have to shoot at this specific location. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So if you see that it's noisy and you're unable to isolate the audio and make it sound clean, then move. I mean, I know that sounds simple, right? But even for me, I just had a shoot the other day where like the sky was pretty much blown out, but I was like, I really got to get like this. The sky looks so good. In my mind, looking back at it now, I knew that the sky was blown out, but I was so obsessed with getting that specific frame. I was like, I have to get this. And then when I look back at it now, I'm like, I really could have just angled the camera somewhere else and like get a better consistent shot rather than trying to balance the person on the sky. So there are techniques that you can use to really, really make the scene. But the most immediate thing I can say is use your environment.
Definitely. I think like a lot of people get wrapped up in the actual like
Oh
shooting,
yeah.
like you
Oh
say,
yeah.
and it's like it's too much, honestly. So, do you usually storyboard or like plan ahead when you go out to these shoots and everything? Do you do that? Do you prepare in advance?
Yes. So that is so important.
Yeah.
It's tantamount that you're able to have an itemized list of every single thing that you need to do, right down to the equipment that you're taking out, because you don't want to get out there and be unprepared.
Yeah.
Preparation, preparation, preparation.
Yeah, you say that a lot in my ear.
Yes, you have to prepare, because if you fail the plan to fail.
Yeah, totally agree with you on that. So,
So yes, have a list of each of the shots that you need, the angles that you need, the location that you are going to be shooting at, and if you can, go and see the location beforehand. So do some
yeah.
pre-shoot activities to ensure your success when you actually get there on shoot day.
Okay, yeah, that pre walking through it, I don't think a lot of people think about that, honestly. Like, you could just go there. You don't have to figure everything out in real time. Like,
Right, like make the time,
yeah, I
make the
totally
time,
agree.
and it will pay off.
Yeah, definitely. So, we're back in studio. You already gathered all of your footage and everything. Can you
Mhm.
walk us through your process, the post production process, really, on what you do, like apps and everything, essential items that you need?
Sure. So I'll keep it brief,
Yeah.
right? So my primary programs would be Premiere Pro for video editing and Adobe Lightroom for photo. And my process, I mean, you get rid of you dump the footage off the cards, obviously, and the first thing that you do when I go into Premiere, if I'm working on video, you cut it up, you sort your clips first of all, and then you cut them up on the timeline. And if you need B-roll, then you add the B-roll on top of that. You set a layer of music as well, because quite often, and I, I should have mentioned this in your first question, but a part of the audio that makes it so encapsulating is when it's cut to the beat, and it always feels so planned and really really intentional, and that really sets the pace for the rest of the video. So once I would have done that, then I don't want to get
Too
too into the
technical,
details,
yeah.
but yeah, so set your audio, cut it to the beat, drop your clips in, pop your B-roll on top, cut that to the beat, and then you do your intro, your outro, and play it back and look at your masterpiece.
Yeah. Sit back, look at your masterpiece. So I know that we use like different types of mics, like roadcasters. We're using the Hollyland right now. When you're really in a group setting and you're collecting audio, so I'm not sure of the audio process or the things that we do when it
Mhm.
comes to production. So this is really a genuine question. Do we have like separate files for audios? Do we like? I understand that sometimes we record to the camera. Like, explain that process,
Okay,
basically.
sure. So if you're recording to the camera,
Yeah.
it's capturing both video and audio at the same time. Unless you have something externally connected to the camera, for the most part, they're going to be combined into one file. And even on the timeline, you can isolate it, but how you and I are speaking, it would just be one audio file. So it wouldn't be an audio file for Tev and then an audio file for Tyler. For example, with the Hollyland mics that we're using, that is one audio channel.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a combination of the both of us speaking. I can't mute myself and I can't mute you. Now, adversely, say that we're shooting a podcast, for example, and we're using podcast microphones that we plug straight into our soundboard. That allows us to isolate both of those audio clips. So you can have an audio file and I can have an audio file. So if one of them might mess up or I need to isolate a particular clip, I can completely mute you and then isolate that person visually and audibly.
Okay. See, I didn't know that at all. Like,
Yeah.
that was a really teachable moment for me. So I'm gonna ask you one more question. So, what do you have to say, or what advice would you give someone who wants to be in this field or wants to develop their production skills or media skills? What would you say to them?
Well, the most immediate advice that I could give, honestly, is join a team of experts that know what they're doing and that they're willing to impart their knowledge on you. That's the best and most organic way that you can learn. So, we have an internship program at Lifestyles. We actually had an intern join us a few weeks ago, and he went from never using Premiere Pro, and I mean the content that he's been pushing out has been stellar. I have to say he's come along greatly, and that is because he immersed himself around a team of experts. So my greatest advice is Join the team. Join our team. Join our team because we are a team of experts and we are always, always willing to impart that knowledge on anybody that crosses our paths.
I definitely agree. Thank you, Ty, for sharing your words of wisdom. I have learned a lot. I'm sure the audience has learned way a lot on visuals and audio. So thank you again.
Thank you as well.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next time, but that's all the time that we have today. Bye.